Hello everyone, welcome back. We had a very interesting topic previously, and now we're moving to the next segment, and we're talking about having your husband working with you or working for you, and you paying him like a salary on a monthly basis. Would you have your husband working for you? I'll throw the question to Blessing and see, since you mentioned in the previous segment that you work with your husband in the same company. So would you work with your husband in the same company and pay him a salary every month?
Okay. But still, do you pay him a salary?
Good question. I suppose the thing is, we work together. He has his own company as well, where I work for him, and then here he works with me in a way. But I wouldn't say I pay his salary. He pays mine. Still, he manages the books.
Okay.
So, but if
but would you though? So let's say you have a business. Would you employ your husband? And then pay him.
If he had the skill set and that was the best place for it to be, then yes, I don't see what the problem is. I don't see that being a problem at all. This is 21st century, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be a problem. I don't think so.
Okay, Vanessa, what do you think?
I know. It's a whole matter right now because I don't know.
That's got me lost for words. Would I employ my husband, give him a paycheck? Do you know what? Again, if it was a thing of he had no other job and he has a skill set, yes, I would. But I still wouldn't feel comfortable because I just feel like, I don't know, I kind of feel like I'm making him feel like he's not being the man or the provider for some strange reason. Because I don't know, I just would not like, I just feel like he's just going to be like, I don't know, just anyone to me.
That's how I do.
I wouldn't feel comfortable. I wouldn't feel comfortable with it.
I think where Vanessa is coming from is, when someone is your employee, it's sort of like, being the boss. And because he's your husband and he's supposed to be the head, well, I'm Christian, so yeah. But him being my employee seems awkward. But then again, we've talked about him having the skill sets. If he knows what to do with the business, yes. And of course, when he works, he has to get paid. Now, his maturity and my maturity has to come to play.
Yeah.
He has to be mature enough to know that this is our work. And I have to be mature enough to know that this is our work.
Yes.
You shouldn't, I wouldn't, ride it over him and say, after all, I'm paying you, because I know that's where the problem will come in. Especially if it's a business I started and he came to work for me. I think it's sweeter when we start the business together. But I'm sure there are instances where, the woman is the boss. Okay, and there are also instances where maybe it's not our business.
That's what I was going to say.
Maybe, we both work in a company, but high up there. Maturity has to play a very key role. So I think it depends on the people involved. But personally, I will feel a bit awkward having my husband under me, especially in a company where we don't own. I'll feel a bit awkward. I wouldn't like it. One person has to resign, for me personally.
I think it's a very tricky one, but I think it depends on the man as well.
Yeah.
I think a man that would be in that situation would be a man that is very confident in himself and doesn't have any issues with his ego. And there's some men out there that are like that, but I think it solely depends on the man. I think for the woman, you can only do as much as you can do. So you can be the, respectful wife, but he might just take it wrong. So I think it depends on the couples. They have to be able to see how, how.
I like to refer to a preacher, Joyce Meyer. I don't know if
I do.
So she's the front liner, and her husband is in the background, and she always says it. So she told the story of how initially, friends were saying to him, how can you be allowing your wife? What are you doing? You can preach, you're a man of God yourself. And they tried it for a few months for him to preach and for her to keep quiet. And he couldn't preach and she couldn't keep quiet. So, it was clear that this was the way they were supposed to work. So it's not a black and white situation. So, and they're working, they've been like that for 40 years and counting. So it's not a black and white situation. Everybody would have to observe what kind of strengths are.
There's strength finding, isn't it?
Your strength.
any money you pay him is still coming back into your family.
Yeah,
isn't it? So
true.
You're not losing it. If he's got the skill set, why go work for somebody else when you've got your own?
But I think for me, what I would suggest is you guys will be partners instead. So if the business that I own, my husband will be my partner.
Yeah,
We'll be an employee.
Yes,
So we're working together to do it.
Yes.
But there's a friend of mine I know, the husband was a manager. The wife was a manager in the business, and the husband was an normal employee, and that's how they met.
I see.
And they got married, and they still worked together for a long time before I think he quit and got another job. But they were there for like good 6 years.
Yeah.
And she was the top tier manager, and he was. But I think it's very. I think it has to do with the man. I think men.
But the woman has a role to play as well.
The woman does have a role.
It's both. It takes two
because
hands to
women can be too talkative. They can, I think women even will get it wrong first.
Women are talkative in any situation anyway.
Because the man may try to be a man, and the woman will try to be a woman, and it'll clash.
Yes.
Yeah.
So everybody has, because the men now, for the man to even agree in the first place, big up for him, really. For the woman, is like, I don't care, because she could be on top, she could be below. Either way, she'll work.
Yeah.
But for the man, being on top is better. If he's below, then it won't work. For the woman, either way, it will work for her. But the man now is at stake. So the woman is the one that has to be careful so that she doesn't.
But I think with men, it's quite simple. If you can identify their ego and look after it, you get the best out of him. I would tell you that.
It's true.
If you can look after your man, he'll look after you. So it's not just up to the man to humble himself. It's also for the woman to know what she's got and to look after it as well.
Definitely.
Don't talk down at him because he's your staff after a while at work. Like I keep talking about church and state. Doesn't mean that when you're in state, you then treat him as though he isn't your man when you get home, because you still have to go home with him. So it's showing him respect in front of people and even at home as well. And that's all he needs sometimes.
So how would you advise a woman in that situation? Or what advice would you give to a woman in that situation? How would she handle it? So if she end up being the boss, even in the business, in the company, or where a woman is earning more and the husband is not earning as much, what advice would you give to a woman in that situation?
There's a conversation that needs to be had, which is between the man and the woman, to say, what is what? Where do we draw the line? Where do we draw the lines? And make sure that when you're dealing with states, which work, it's not emotional. Don't have an emotional conversation with your husband at work. Don't play the batting your eyelids, but I'm your wife. I need to have my way. Don't do it. If it's work, it's work.
It's work.
He could work for another woman elsewhere,
of course,
and he would expect to be respected. So don't disrespect him because he goes to bed with you at night. That's not fair. So I think a conversation needs to be had. The woman needs to know her place. He needs to know his place. And those lines are observed. And every now and then you also must check where everyone is emotionally. It's very important. It's the emotional bits.
I think another thing I want to say, do you think our boys should be raised differently? Especially African children, because I think they're raised with so much expectation. Sometimes they don't really meet, not expectation, they're raised with so much ego, I don't know if with the right word.
We understand what you mean.
And then sometimes expectations. Sometimes they don't reach that level. Sometimes, and then it causes problems. And I think so. Would you think we should raise boys differently from what we raise boys?
I would say yes. I would say let's raise boys. Not that they're going to be mommy's boys, but they're going to be someone's husband tomorrow. As a mother, raise your son not to be the best boy ever to mommy, but he's going to go away and be someone's husband. So he should be able to make decisions. So allow them make decisions, get it wrong and get it right, as opposed to some mothers who would always just shield their son. They can't do anything right. They can't do,
my son's always right.
Yes, exactly. You need to let them make manly decisions, I think, from as early as possible, as that majority shows.
I think it's changed, isn't it? From when we were very young, our mother's generation to now. Our mother's generations, women were housewives and they're not working. Now it's different because women go to work and sometimes women earn more. Especially in the United Kingdom, sometimes they favor women. You can easily, from experience, rise more. Sometimes there's racism in men. I think so. Times have changed, and even back home in Nigeria, women are doing very well. Women are still bringing the bacon home, but then our boys are still raised in that way where So sometimes I think there's a bit of a conflict. I don't know if that's if I'm wrong. What do you think that's
Well, we definitely are moving with time. We won't stay in the 80s or in the 90s. Well, we're raising our boys to have respect for women.
Yeah.
And still on the topic, when we raise them that way, they now have a different mindset.
Yeah.
You know, they now work with women in a different way. It's not about being the boss now.
Yes.
It's about just having that respect and that, you know, solid, you know, background, making sure everything is, you know, the way it should be. You know, because I think where the boys that were raised before were raised with too much of ego, and they wanted to dominate and they wanted to be in charge, and that's where these problems, you know, came from. So now we're raising boys. Because my son, you know, I let him know that the washing of the plate is not for the girls alone. Okay, so he should wash his plate when he finishes eating. Okay, I'm glad we don't even have a dishwasher, because I wonder children who don't see these things, how they will cope when, okay, maybe the world will advance much more, I don't know, but you know, basically what I'm saying is do things for yourself.
So
that when you grow,
everybody chips in.
Do the laundry. You know, I was shocked to discover just recently that my son couldn't operate the washing machine because it was always the girls, and it was like an abomination to me. Like, really, for so since that day,
he makes sure
he's the one that does the laundry now in the house. So we're raising them, you know, to have that consciousness.
It's very important.
Okay, I think it's very. We can go on and on. I think that's all we have time for today. I think it's very important, as we talked about, for a woman, if you're working with your husband, to just have respect for him. Do not talk him down. Talk to him nicely, because if you were working with, or if he was working in a different company, he will be respected. So not because he's your husband, you talk him down. You know, protect his ego. Make sure you do things you're meant to do that a woman does in the house. Thank you so much, Blessing. I think it's been a lovely time having you here. We had a really lovely time today. Thanks for tuning in, and see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.